Aloha, good morning. Skyra from Sovereign Vision. I'm recording today outside of my porch. I'm blessed to live on the big island of Hawaii, and I just love morning times and the birds singing, all the sounds of nature. I truly love living in nature. It's our connection to source, our connection to spirit, and for myself, it's where I've found deep peace and the connection at a time that I was going through a lot of deep suffering. It's also become a lifestyle for me to live in a place that brings me peace. But today I want to talk about ascension and waking up, spiritual awakening. What does that mean for those who are seeking and those who are on the path and know that something has majorly shifted in your life, which you would identify as an awakening, a spiritual awakening, which is actually the process of ascension. So I'm going to take some of my videos and explain these things to clarify, so that when I'm speaking and doing videos, those who are new to the path or new to ascension don't necessarily always know exactly what that means. And I think it would have been a nice thing to have when I was experiencing it back when, back in the day. And it was a long process. And even though we can hear it, and this is true with many things, we can have the knowledge and we can research and understand it in our mind, but it's really not fully understood until it's embodied, until we've had the experience and we can say, oh yeah, that's what that is. So that's really, everything is really about the embodiment and the experience. And then there's things that I kind of understood way back when I first had my awakening in 2015, or started in 2012, 2015, that have such a deeper meaning to me today, because the healing process is a cyclic, it's a journey, a spiral on the out, it starts on the outside and it goes closer and closer to your inner being and your inner soul. And you'll start understanding these things on a deeper level as the process continues. So today, what exactly is ascension? It usually begins, and I'm going to say how it usually begins. The awakening usually begins with a major heartbreak. It begins with some kind of a major fear, some kind of a trauma, an illness, a sudden onset for some. And some, it's just your soul begins to remember, your soul begins to question, your soul begins to question the reality that you were led to believe. And that was kind of my path back all the way as a child. But I forgot, because I got indoctrinated into the pharmaceutical industry and a lot of fear programming and a lot of abuse in a childhood. So I forgot, or I never forgot. It was covered up for many years from addictions. And this is what happens to many of us We buy into the program of fear that there's something innately wrong with us, rather than there's a separation between what we know to be true for ourselves and our soul, and then what we're told to believe and what we're told that who we are. And that's where this separation begins, and then it moves into a place of fear. That you have to, there's an illusion, which is the program in this reality of fear and control and manipulation. So what happens on the awakening and the ascension process is that we have a breakthrough. We have a breakthrough through that illusion of the mind, of the fear, and know that there's something more. There's something more than what you're taught to believe, or what you think you are, or what you are led to believe in this reality that we're living and thinking about ourselves and others. So that is really what a spiritual awakening is. It's basically the remembrance of our connection to Source. And it's a process. It doesn't start, it doesn't start right. We generally do not ever go right to our remembrance of Source, because there's so much programs and so many illusions that are hovering over into our mind that it takes time to break through. And so generally, the spiritual awakening begins with everything on the outside. We start seeing the illusions of the government, of the churches, religion, of all systems. I'm not going to just pinpoint certain things, but it's a process of seeing through the illusions of the systems that have been put in place to control and enslave us into a fear program. That somehow we are innately don't know how to heal ourselves. We don't know what's best for us. We don't know what is that we are free. We don't know that we are already perfect and of love. So in that process, I have notes here. In that process, we start remembering that our body is our temple, that there are other dimensions, that we might start remembering our past lives. We start remembering our soul. It's our soul remembrance. Plus, we also go into deep ego, like ego programming, or it's a shadow that was developed to protect us, to protect our heart, to protect the fears that we had, which is the ego, is the mind. It starts in the mind, and we start getting breakthroughs of the projections that we're putting on ourselves and others, and why we're getting so triggered. So all those stages in between, and then bringing the knowledge that we're out there, seeing, and bringing it into embodiment to actually, rather than having it on the outside in the knowledge, but it comes into our body, and we can embody that knowledge and that wisdom inside. And it really comes down to freeing our mind. So the process after, it's after the process of the outer, where we wake up or we see through the illusion of the outside, it moves inward. It moves to here, and our heart, and our body, and our soul, our mind. So all true healing is within. We might see the illusions on the outside, and we can continue blaming. That's what we get into when we go into, there's a process of the illusion of of seeing everything on the outside, but we can still remain a victim. We can still keep blaming the system. We can still keep blaming everything outside of us, that it's their fault. And until we bring it in and start doing our own deep inner work to realize that what we see is only a reflection of what we are, or as a reflection of showing us what still needs to heal within, that's where the true deep inner healing and the ascension begins. The ascension is a move from fear to love consciousness. It's losing inside of us, it's losing guilt and shame, blame, anger, resentment, and mostly become that we are somehow a victim, and that we are somehow innately defective or wrong, or there's something wrong with us. The process of ascension is arriving at the place that we know that we are the creators of our own reality, that we are remembering our true connection to Source, to Divine, that the Divine works through us and is not outside of us. We get to choose our own thoughts, to decide who we are and what we're going to embody and what we are going to project out into the world. So we all have a choice whether we want to project fear or we want to project love and joy in every moment. Have a beautiful day. If you'd like to donate to this channel, I'd really appreciate any offerings, Venmo, Skyra 1111, or Cash App, Skyra 333. And I'll soon be announcing some ways that you can join me on other platforms and other opportunities to connect coming up soon. Have a beautiful day.